Welcome to Coffee Hang. Happy Saturday or whenever you're listening to this. I am here in my cozies, but I've done the ultra girl thing where we've got the hair washed and blown out. We've got skincare on, all the things, and then we put on a sweat set. But you know what? It's us. It's me and you. It's the girlies, the besties. We're hanging out. So who cares? But it's also that time where it's just really warm outside and the AC is pumping inside. So you got to put the sweat set on to freeze. But I've got my iced coffee today. I got it from Lady Bird. If anyone knows that place, they sell crema, or at least the location close to me sells crema. But that is the coffee I have today. I am so happy to be with y'all today. Whenever you're listening to this, Ev and I will be celebrating 3 months of marriage. Yay. I can hear your yays from here. We're celebrating 3 months marriage. It feels like a long time, but it also feels like not a long time. I know we're just starting, but I am very proud of us. And also, I'm like, time flies. Time flies when you're having fun and when you're learning. But as you can see from the title of today, I am going to talk about things that people don't tell you about marriage. And no, this is not like a I'm the Yoda over marriage. Ev and I were just chatting and I was like, babe, I feel like so many people just don't talk about kind of what you learn even in like your first month of marriage. And if they do, it's normally in like a weird clinical context and like you don't want to listen to it. But this is Coffee Hang. So we're going to make it fun and real and all the things. And this list is honestly, I was like, Ev, tell me what you feel like you didn't know. But no, we kind of agreed on these. There's 4 things that I'm going to talk about. And I think that it'll be nice to chat about it with you. And what we're going to get into today is what you learn quick in marriage and all the ups and downs of that. Before we do, though, I have learned something, guys. I am in my 27th year of life, turning 28 in November, and I have started having jaw tension. And this sounds like a sponsor spot. It's not. It's a hear me cry spot. But I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'm 27 and newly married and stress is hitting in different places. But I don't know if anyone else has had this issue, and I just wanted you to know what has been helping me. I have a gua sha that I've been doing. You can literally find them just for your jaw. Like, look it up on YouTube. And then I have this massage thing that my parents got all of us for Christmas this past year, and it's actually come in handy. And it like just massages the heck out of my shoulders and my neck. And so I have been trying those things because clearly I just hold so much tension in my jaw now. This is new. So I will keep y'all updated on that journey of trying to figure out how to relieve that. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that. And in that saying, if you saw what Skims just released, I think my phone heard me because I was just telling Evan about that I had put 2 and 2 together. I was like, I think I'm clenching my jaw in sleep. I think blah, 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 blah. And I like got on Instagram and the first thing was Skims' new, I don't know what it's called, jaw shape. I'm not going to get it. Don't worry. Not going to get it. But it made me laugh because I was like, can you imagine? I would laugh at myself too hard. And anyways, if any of you use it, beautiful. I am not I don't even think that that's what it's for, is the issues that I'm having. So anyways, I just thought it was hilarious. I was like, well, there's one way to fix it. But yeah, so gua sha massage thing. And I haven't even tried maybe like some Tiger Balm to like help it ease. So yeah. Oh, guys, I didn't even say happy first Saturday of August. This is crazy. Like, we're in August. And this is the 5th episode of Coffee Hang. I am just loving doing this, and I'm so thankful if you're listening for the first time or if this is your 5th time listening. I am having so much fun, and I get it now why there is a bajillion podcasts out there, because it's really fun. Like, if you've considered starting one, like, honestly, start it. You will find your people that will listen to it, and don't get sucked into the cynicism of, well, there's a bajillion ones out there, so like, why would I add to it? Believe in yourself. But that aside, it is so, so fun, and I have just had the best time coming up with episodes, and I'm still learning about like what I want to chat about, and still figuring out my setup and like where I want to do it and all that. But I'm having the best time. I just can't believe that it is the first Saturday of August. It's crazy. I think I talked about it in the last episode, but I've seen more things on it now, and I'm not alone, I know, in wanting fall to come. This past week, I have noticed a slight breeze, and it has been lovely. It's the hope I'm finding in the heat right now. It's a heat advisory in Nashville, and it's absolutely crazy. But let's get into the episode. I'm ready to chat about these things. As I said before, these are the things you had to learn quick in marriage, or I had to learn quick in marriage. And I think that some of these are very illuminating. And the first one I'm going to talk about, I honestly should have had Evan here to do this with me. Maybe we'll bring Evan on at some point if y'all are interested in having the other half on here. He's a good time. But the biggest thing, if someone was like, Malls, if we were sitting in a coffee shop and someone was like, Malls, what is the biggest thing that's different that you didn't realize would be so different in marriage 3 months in? Money. Budget. I don't care what you did before you got married. You have to change it like when you get married, because it's 2 people now. It's your circumstances are different. Like, it's not just you. It's not just like you think of your person in everything now. And at least for me and Evan, that's what we're doing. And it is hard. Like, give yourself credit if you're also in that same like season. Even if you're not married and you're just in a relationship and like talking about those things, like, money is hard, and we all come from different backgrounds in different ways that we were taught about money or not. And it's like, you've got to first give yourself grace over that. And Ev and I have, and still are, spending so much time and working so hard about communicating on these things. And that's the thing, is that you have to communicate on these things and be open with what you value and what you prioritize, however silly it may seem to you. Like, telling your partner, these are the things I prioritize and these are the things that I care about, and just sitting down together and working that out. It's helped us connect even more. And I considered Evan my best friend even before we got married, before our finances combined, everything. And you just get to know that person on a different level, and you get to know what they prioritize and what they care about. Because the thing with money is everyone wants to use it differently, whether it's for security or for future plans or vacation, travel. The spider thing's happening outside my window. I'm so sorry. Evan's gonna take care of all of that soon. It's literally National Geographic. But that was one of the big things, is I had to sit down with myself, and because Evan's not here, I'm gonna kind of come more from my own story. And I'm trying to figure out like the sharing but not oversharing aspect of the podcast, because I do want to talk about things that are harder or that other people aren't chatting about. So give me grace on trying to find where that line is. But my side of it was, I honestly hadn't sat down and thought about what my priorities were. For money, I had never kind of been posed that question before I got married. And it's illuminating, because it's like, okay, yeah, what do I care about and what do I want to prioritize with money? And no matter how much of it you have, like what are your priorities and what do you care about? And I don't think that those have to be perfectly aligned with your husband. I think you can bring those together and see each other and then decide from there. But that was the biggest thing for me. I was like, well, I'm going to have to sit down and figure this out. Malls doesn't know. I have an idea, but I've never like written it out. The other thing was, even if you did a budget before you got married, like your budget's different once you get married. Like you've got all of their things to think about and all of yours. And that was one of the biggest things for Ev and I to figure out, because he lived a certain way of life for a long time, and I had too. And so that's another place that you've got to give each other grace. And I did not mean for this to turn into advice. I think hopefully what I hope you're hearing is, it took Ev and I realizing, okay, we've got to give each other grace and understanding. And so I'm pleading that other people do that with their partners as well, or even with yourself, even if you're just budgeting with yourself. Like, if your priorities you think aren't, like once you write them down, aren't the best, like just see yourself in that season and reprioritize. It was one of those things where once we even made a budget before we got married, like when we knew we were getting engaged, or maybe we were engaged. Yes, we were engaged, and Ev and I were engaged for maybe 7 months. I live in Nashville, so we were either going to get married in 7 months or we were going to get married in a year, because I was not getting married in June, July, or honestly kind of August time here. It's just too warm. Anyways, we made a budget and we thought we had it figured out. But then first month of being married, we were like, yeah, we got to redo this. Even talking with our therapist, we were like, yeah, this is honestly not realistic, because we hadn't lived with each other yet. We hadn't actually remembered those 5 other subscriptions we had. I'm like, oh, wait, let me write down the subscriptions, And so it was just one of those things where it's like, those first few months, I feel like that might be one of the biggest things you get hit with, because you've got to buy groceries, you got to put gas in your car, all those things, and Ev and I are still figuring out, and we probably will for years. And every season of life, depending on money, things will be different and the budget will need to change and all those things. I hope I don't sound boring. I hope I'm just helping you feel seen, and I honestly, talking about it helps me feel seen, seen together. In the last week, an eye-opening thing for Evan and I, without oversharing, is that you're just going to see money differently. And the goal is to not help each other to see it your partner to see it your way, and that's the way that it's got to be. The goal is to connect and to hear each other. And what I've learned even in my one-on-one therapy this morning was maybe even ask your partner what they heard, because I'm realizing that just because we say it out loud doesn't mean that it was received the way that we meant it. So when it comes to the money conversation and how you see money and how your partner sees money, Ev and I are both really good at math, but my brain computes and categorizes differently than his and differently than someone on the street. Like, we all categorize and do math and see things differently. And so Ev and I had to chat about that of like, hey, I actually, we were having this conversation and he was he was suggesting one thing and I was suggesting another, and it took us like 30 minutes to realize we were saying the same thing. And I'm realizing that sometimes that is marriage. But I was like, babe, it's just, my head sees it this way. And he was like, yeah, and that's the same way. So it's one of those things that is definitely not done perfectly. And Ev and I are not doing it perfectly. And that's why I'm talking about it. Because I just don't hear people talk about this kind of stuff. And I know there's some things in like relationships that's like better one-on-one. I get that. There's some things that I didn't write down because honestly, we can't have that conversation online. And maybe one day in person, we can have that conversation one-on-one. But it's like, there are still things about marriage that can be talked about and they're just not. And I want to try to normalize some things. So, money's different. Budgeting is going to be different. Even if you've never budgeted before or you're a budgeting master, it's going to be different. And like I said, just the goal that I'm trying to remember is to connect. And at the end of the day, what matters is your relationship. Let's take a sip. That was a big one. Okay, next thing. This is coming from Evan. Alone time. Ev and I spent a lot of time together before we were married, before we lived together. I don't think you realize until you live in the same house how alone time is going to work. And I know it'll continue to evolve and change for us. But again, remember, I'm talking about things in marriage that you learn quick. Alone time is different. Connecting is different. And Ev and I love to connect. We're obsessed with each other. We're each other's best friends. Love him so much. We also both love alone time. I, in particular, am an introvert, so I have to have me time to re-energize, to prepare for the podcast. Like, if I've got to put out any energy, I need to do that alone. And Ev, on the other hand, is kind of that way, but he doesn't need that as much as I do. And that's Ev admitting that. But the biggest thing is like how you connect together and how you connect alone and not taking it personal. There were plenty of times in the first few weeks of Ev and I being home and living together where we would be like, okay, do we have breakfast together or do we like do it separate and like have our mornings? Or if we sit at the table together, do we need to be like talking, or is it okay that like you're on YouTube, I'm reading a magazine? And so, and not getting offended that your person's like on YouTube or reading a magazine or doing whatever. And so again, it's talking about it and figuring it out. And so Ev and I still talk about it and figure it out. And even this week, like trying to figure out, since we both mostly work from home, it's like, okay, I don't need to be barging in on him every 30 minutes or him, me, because we are both trying, as much as we love each other, we are both trying to like get things done and like stay in a zone. So like maybe we will see each other at lunch and, just communicating in that way. And so that's been an interesting one. And under the same umbrella, alone time in the sense of like hobbies or friend time, like realizing how important that is for yourself and for your partner. And I find that when Ev and I go and do our hobbies or friend time, like we then come back more energized into the relationship. And so it's just something to like be curious about with your partner. And Ev and I are, like I said, continuing to learn, and like we love to be in a routine, but like that routine changes, and being okay with that, or if you're not okay, saying that and hearing out your partner, or, you know, listening to them. And yeah, so that's just something that like I just don't think that you're going to realize until you're living in the same space. And it's eye-opening. It's also just so intriguing. It's like, yeah, you do kind of feel like roommates, and you don't want to be passing ships in the night. Like, you are married, and it's hopefully your best friend. So like you want to connect with them, but not suffocate them. So, you know, it's something that, like I said, I'm 3 months in. We probably talk about it weekly, figuring it out. And I don't think before Ev and I ever realized how important it was for my partner to have a hobby and to let him thrive in that hobby and just let him go be in that hobby. And so that's something that I find myself even saying to Ev. He'll feel bad if something changes with some of his cycling schedule. And I'm like, babe, don't feel bad. Like, this is important for you to have a hobby and to enjoy and go do outside of our relationship, and that I'm not doing with you. On the hobby front, I think another thing is it's important to value, or maybe even like take interest in your partner's interests. I think this is important because you live in the same house, and your partner's going to talk about those things because they are passionate about them, because a new video has come out or because a new article has come out. And like, Ev was talking about a amp the other day, and I have a degree in music, so I can follow along, but I don't necessarily use an amp or need to. And so it's one of those things. It just dawned on me. I was like, you know what? I could be really selfish and just not care. But I love seeing Evan excited about something and like just talking about something that he's excited about. And I can take interest in that. No, I don't have to become a pro about it. I don't have to research it. But like, I can actually hear him and put myself to the side. And I've just found that feels like a important pillar in our relationship. And because we both are creative and like have things that we enjoy that aren't our jobs or hobbies that we actually are doing, but just things we find interest in. It's like when I explain like a Kardashian like thing to him, like he happily listens to me because he loves me. He couldn't care less. He literally doesn't know what these people are. So that's what I mean. And it's such a simple thing, but it's one of those things that I'm only 3 months in, but marriage I don't have children, so I could say this once I have them, but as someone who is only married, it feels like one of the most selfless things that I've done. And I mean, I happily choose it. Some days it's harder than others, but I mean, I absolutely adore Evan and love him so much that it helps selflessness not feel as hard. But I still want to make note that it's one of those things I have thought multiple times. Oh, yeah. This is a everyday choice, and you can easily hurt your partner or yourself by not making that choice. Next thing. Cooking dinner. This also was something I brought up to Evan, but he reminded me of whenever I was making this outline. He's like, babe, don't forget about the cooking dinner, which was so sweet because there was one week that I just felt like all I did was whether you've heard me talk about it on here or on my vlogs, like I plan out my days hourly and I make content, film videos, edit, have friend time, like call people, do all these things. So I like fill up my day. And then it felt like that whole week, it was me doing that and then cooking and then cleaning and then going to bed and doing it again. And I remember telling Ev, and I like love cooking. So does Evan. And cooking for your partner, even more fun. But I was like, babe, I feel like I had this, what I was talking about, being honest and connecting with your partner. And if I wouldn't have said that out loud, like, and Ev, of course, literally was like, oh my gosh, yes, like I would feel the same way, babe. Like, thank you for telling me. And it's one of those things that I think it feels scary to say out loud to your partner, but actually they're probably not thinking about it. So you might need to say it. But he's so sweet. He's like, he'll come in from work now and be like, babe, let me start on dinner. And I'm like, you're so sweet. Like, I love cooking for you and I know you love cooking for me. And like some weeks we might need that for one and, need to help one do that. And then the next week it might be flopped or whatever. But I say that example just to say like the chores of life, of marriage, like you have to share those. I think I easily felt like within the first month of our marriage that traditionally that was all supposed to fall on me. And it's not. It is a partnership and it's something that you get to chat with your partner about and be like, hey, I'm going to do the laundry. Can you clean up the dishes? Or can you take out the trash? I'm going to mop the floor. Like whatever it is, like there's equality in that and you are allowed to ask for that. And I sure as heck did. I did not hesitate. And Ev doesn't hesitate either. Again, like, your partner might not even be thinking about some of those chores and that's okay. Maybe that's not natural for them. And so you might have to ask. And that's like, a lot of those things aren't natural for my other half. That doesn't make him a bad person. It's just not what he's thinking about. He's thinking about like, he'll make sure like the yard's mowed and like all the other things. But I just paint that picture to say like, talk about it with your partner. And I think I was more scared to say something because I felt the pressure that it was all supposed to fall on me, and it's just not. It's actually really fun to do together. And Ev's a really good cook. I'm like, if you could cook for us every night. Also, on that note, I understand now why the crock pot was invented. Again, wish this was sponsored by them. The crock pot will save your booty. Whoever thought, yeah, let's put something in a bowl and turn it on low and not high enough for it to be worrisome that it's cooking without you being around, but we'll put it on low and then you got a full dinner in like 6 hours. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Whoever thought of that, you deserve all the money that I hope you're getting from selling that. That has been my new thing. And going into the fall, I'm excited because I feel like there's a lot more warm dishes you can make. I just have been doing mostly like chicken in the crock pot. But even that, like that helps so much. And clean up as you go. All the things. Okay, that is all of the marriage things that I wrote down. Again, I am not an expert. I just feel like those were the things that Ev and I were like, yeah, these like 4 things you don't think about until you're in like even a month in. It's crazy. And I now want to flip the script because this isn't just for married people, like single wise. If you're single and you're listening to this, you're like, what does all this mean to me? Or if you're dating, it's like, I hope that this helps you honestly assume a different mindset about marriage or what you're wanting or what you're about to walk into. When we're single, a lot of that dating doesn't really prepare us for these things. And again, not that you necessarily need to be prepared for this, but I think the biggest thing when I was making this outline is like knowing some of these things. It's like, okay, yeah, I can work on being more selfless or being more aware of what I spend my money on and not perfecting it. I think the biggest thing is just being curious with yourself, being real with yourself, knowing yourself, doing some like internal exploring. Like none of that is going to return void to your future, whether you're married or not. All these things help you grow as a person and grow wiser. And all that to say, I hope that was insightful. And like I said, we got to get Ev on the pod. He's funny. There's always some silliness happening and you never know what's going to come out of his mouth. So like maybe I need to have a bleep button. So maybe that would be a really cool next episode. At the end of this episode, I thought it'd be really fun to kind of chat about August and like what vibes I'm seeing going into August. I literally have Pinterest open. So I hope this is like a little fun last moment. Oh, that's really cute. You know when you just open Pinterest and it's like it knows you. I was pinning things for August and I was like, you know what I'm seeing? Plaid, for sure. Plaid, like almost a linen plaid, like a light blue and white vibes. Sunset vibes. I'm seeing like sunflowers. A lot of like pastel colors. And oh, I heard someone say, okay, hot take. Now that we've talked about the serious stuff, let's have fun for a minute. Someone said that in the fashion world, with our cute outfits, we're not putting on sneakers anymore. We're putting on flats or boots. And I can see that. I can see where fashion's kind of taking us there. But I was thinking through that and I was like, when I wear a flat, I look like a scuba diver. So like, not a fan of those. But love it in theory. But boot-wise, that could be really fun. And so that's what I'm also seeing for August is like, because it's warm, we still have on like our skirts, our dresses, and our shorts. But with the boots, like we've been seeing. But I'm just saying like it's actually a little bit cooler so we actually can put on the boots. So yeah, seeing that, what other vibes am I seeing? This is so fun. I almost feel like it's like fair vibes, like county fairs. The summer I turned pretty, like that feels like August vibes. So yeah, I'm curious what is feeling like August for y'all. I am very excited for it. I have decided for the moment that every month I'm kind of coming up with a vibe and a theme. And like July, we did summer in color. And then August, it's going to be about romance. Whether that's like romance with yourself, like it doesn't have to be with a partner, but just the colors and the vibe and the mood is giving romantic era. So more on that to come. I didn't expect to drop the branding for August, but here we are. You've heard it first. On the other like pop culture-y vibes, Guys, is this like our year of getting, well, and next year, is this our year of getting all of the movies we love, like the sequels, like the 10 years later sequels? Like, are you kidding me? Like, The Devil Wears Prada 2, we're getting Freaky Friday. I don't know if it actually has a different name for the second one. What was the other one? Practical Magic, the second one, and then there's some others I'm missing, but like this is our season to get our sequels. And it's like, I love that it's still the same actors. It's not like a sequel where it's different actors, same story kind of vibes, but it's the same actors and they're a little bit older and they are giving us, are we getting a Princess Diaries 3? Did I miss that? Or maybe I just fantasize about that. The way I'm about to make Evan sit down and watch those, because I quote those movies so much and he doesn't realize that that is where Chris Pine originated. I don't care what anyone says. Princess Diaries 2. That's where he originated. And so I'm about to take Evan down that rabbit hole. And The Devil Wears Prada. So yeah, those are just some of the things that Evan and I have been enjoying. Some vibes I'm seeing for August. All the good things. And yeah, that's all I have for this week, y'all. Thank you so much for listening. Again, this has been so much fun. Make sure to check out all the other episodes. We're on Spotify, YouTube. And yeah, y'all, I will see you in the next one. Cheers.